Hey guys, welcome to another tutorial. If this helps you out, give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe. I'm going to show you how to create in-ear count-ins or band cues from scratch using a microphone, and then I'll show you how to slice it up, and then I'll show you how to create a track that'll fire them off. It's a pretty cool way of doing this. So the first thing I need to do is make sure that I've got audio input. I have an audio track. I've set it to the input of channel 1, which is a XLR input on my sound card, and I have monitoring off so I don't hear the background echo, and you can see that it's receiving, so it will record, and I've armed the track. Now, just for the sake of arrangement, I'm going to move to arrangement mode, and I'm going to go ahead and just start recording. Now, I don't need to do this in time or in tempo unless I have the click going into my ear and I want to be in tempo. But I don't need to be. So I can just say the words I want to say that are going to be the cues in the songs. So let's go ahead and do this. I'll fire it up. So we're going to say intro. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Verse. Chorus. Bridge. Breakdown. Etc. So now I've created all of these different cues, and they're all part of one audio clip. So what we have to do is break this down and slice it up. If you notice, you come down in here. Oh, it didn't capture intro. Let's do that again. Okay, so we didn't get intro. Let's go ahead and just get it again. Intro. All right, that works better. I'm going to move into this, and I'll turn the resolution in the track down to off so I can get as close to this as possible. And I'm going to split this clip. That's Command E. And then I'll go to the end of this clip, intro, which is right about there, and I'll split it again. Now I give it a name, and this is intro. Over here in my browser, I've got a clips folder, and I've created a count-in tutorial folder. Now you can organize this however you want. But what I do from here is I'll drop this into count-in tutorial and copy. Okay? And I'll run through. Intro. Yep, thank you very much. Let's go back to the beginning here and see what we've got. 1. All right, so let's cruise in here, split it there and there, rename it. That's Command R. 1. This is 2. Okay. And right there, and we'll split this and rename it 2. We're going to come over to this 3, and you can see that this is a pretty quick process. 3 and 4. Whoops. And 5. Yep, that's 5. 5. And we have 6. All right, that's a long one here. Let's do that. 6. Verse 6. Okay, rename that to 6. And then we have verse. We'll rename that verse. And you can see chorus. This ends here, roughly. Chorus. What's this? Bridge. Breakdown. Bridge. And I'm just using the space bar to stop and start this. Breakdown. Okay. Breakdown. And I think that's all I've got. Yeah. Okay. So now I'm going to drag these over to, I've got intro. So I'm going to drag these over and drop these into count-in tutorial. And here. If you drag more than one at the same time, it will create the combined clip. So you don't want to do that if you want them to be separate and accessible in the future. Now you wonder, why aren't we just moving these all together, warping them and putting them in time with the music or with the tempo? And that's because we want to be able to fire these at any time at any point along the performance. And we want to be able to do it using a MIDI note. Got 6, verse, chorus, bridge. And if you didn't know to navigate, I'm holding down Shift with my left pinky, and I'm using the mouse wheel to move back and forth. It's a fast way to move along and keep your hands on the keyboard. Okay, we've got all of these clips put in here, so I can Control or Command A, pick all of those clips and just delete them. We don't need them anymore. And now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a MIDI channel, or MIDI track. And here's the fun part. Go over to the instruments and drop a drum rack onto your MIDI track. Now, scroll down to C-2. You can use basically any spot you want. And we're going to systematically drop these clips back onto, in whatever order you want. We can drop this one here. And here's 2. And you can see it brings in a different name. It brings in the name of the underlying audio file, the underlying wave, because we're addressing just this slice, but the actual wave file, which we created, is the entire session where we counted out through everything. So I may have to come back here and rename these things. Command R and call it 1. Command R 2, etc., and so on. Right? So here we go with 3 and 4 and 5, 6, right? 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, let's put intro in. And maybe verse. And of course, your song structures are going to determine what you're going to trigger, but you'll want to set up a drum rack with every cue that your band ever uses. That way you have one drum rack that you always load. Now I can save this particular drum rack into my presets and always have this at my fingertips. Now, if you extend the chain right here, you can see that all of these have a name. And I want to make sure that Show Names in MIDI Editor is checked off. If I don't, I won't know what I'm addressing when I'm looking at a clip. So go to your drum rack and insert a MIDI clip. And if you look on that MIDI clip, you'll see, we're at 1/16, let's go to 1/4. You'll see that the only options are the chains that you created, are the items that you dropped in. If you click preview here, 4, 3, 2, 1, 6, 5, verse, intro. So what this allows you to do is drop clips in. Let's make this a 8-bar measure just for the sake of argument here. And we're going to create a, let's do a two-bar count in. So we'll do, it ends at 3 and it's 2 bars long. So we're going to delete this and we're going to start with 1, 2, 3, 4. Got it? All right, so now when I play this clip, 1, 2, 3, 4. Boom, and the song starts. Of course, I'm going to turn looping off. I don't want that to loop. But I am now able to bring this drum rack, which I can give a different name. I can call it band cues. I can bring this into any piece that I'm doing. Any Ableton set can use this, and it will always be the same. When I get to the intro, maybe I want it to say 1, 2. Instead of 1, I want it to say intro here. Intro. So it'll sound like this. 2, intro, 2, 3, 4. Right? When it moves along throughout the song and it gets to the verse, you can simply plug in a MIDI note where the verse is. And you'll hear verse. So this triggers the drum pad, and the drum pad plays the wave file. And that's the easiest way I've found to create live cues on the fly. And this, everybody will hear in the band when they have in-ears. And so it's critical at this point that you have the audio for this track going to the correct out. So if you have multiple outs on your sound card, you want to send this to a specific channel, maybe 3 or 4 or 6, whatever you want to send it to, just as long as it's being sent out of its own channel. And this will be routed through your console in the back of the house and then delivered to your in-ear monitoring system. Or this could be, for instance, you could do 1 and 2. Let's configure the outs. Audio output config. Let's say we want 1 and 2 mono, and you want to have all of your tracks go out on 1, and all of your, this would be coming out of, say, your Macintosh, right? Out of your 1/8" jack. Your left would be the cues, and then all your audio would be sent to 1. So 1 and 2 would be split. Now you would lose your stereo signal here, but at least your audio is going to go out on one track or on one channel of the headphones, and this one is going to deliver on the other channel of the headphones. And how you split that and send it to where you need it to go is up to you at that point. But that is, in a nutshell, how easy it is to create your band cues, custom band cues the way you want them to be, and quickly create a drum rack that you can save. If I drag this drum rack into my folders, it will save it. It'll be, in stone. And I can use this at any point, anytime throughout the course of my life. If you found this to be helpful and you have any questions, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and leave any comments below. Thanks a lot.